Go
All
for it.
right. All right. So we are live. We are live on Facebook and okay. So let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Show us. All right. We're gonna do this. Hi, people. We had technical difficulties. Please hang in there. Hopefully, there we go. Oh, she's awesome. She is awesome. All right. We're live. All right.
On Firefox, I couldn't get into my Facebook account. I had to go cut and paste from another browser, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to. I have to close out my.
Welcome to the show then.
Well, you know what? What is this show without technical difficulties? It
That's
all.
right.
Exactly.
All right. So, you know what? We'll start at this point, and you know what we're gonna do? This is our intro. This is my new intro, and here we. Good evening, and welcome to the Fox Den. I am Gina B, and the place to be. P. Fox, the paranormal princess herself, Gina Bankston. And with me is my beautiful butterfly babe, the magical, the mystical Mama D. And we are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you a variety of guests to entertain you and to help you in any way we possibly can. Thank you for joining us, and please share our feeds. And here we are.
Hi guys.
One more time. So we did have a few technical difficulties. So if you do listen to the actual archive on Blog Talk for the radio archive, it'll be me trying to open a new StreamYard post and everything else. So I apologize for that. I apologize to June for that. But here we go. So we're starting from here. We're starting fresh. We got it all situated. Thanks to my lovely ladies who were just like right there with me. And June, techie or not, you did it, girl. So June Ahern, she has authored 4 books. Uh-oh. Mama.
I'm trying to get this stuff going here. You know me, I'm the technical difficulty child.
Okay, no speakers. Okay, all right, one more time. One more time. This is like, all right, I should spin my chair around and come back in from the twilight. All right. June. June Ahern has authored 4 books, 2 novels, and 2 nonfictions, and they are on parapsychology and paranormal subjects. Her over 40 years experience as a psychic reader and medium and knowledge of the metaphysics has encouraged her to write and lecture the benefits of expanding the unconscious mind to conscious applications. June's debut book, The Timeless Counselor, The Best Guide to Psychic Reading, was the #1 bestseller of a new author in New York's 1990 Whole Life Expo. Congratulations. Her novels are about Scottish immigrants living in San Francisco. Although mostly retired from private practice, June continues to share her abilities through teaching on a YouTube documentary series with the Haunted Bay Paranormal Investigations with June Ahern. And now she lives in Northern California. Okay, and now we may begin. The real time.
Got my fingers crossed. Got my fingers crossed.
Right, right. So June, that was just a little bit about you. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about you and your life?
Well, as you mentioned, I came to the United States when I was just a wee one, and I lived an ordinary life. I had a near-death experience in 1970. I was in a very almost fatal car accident and near death. When I came back, as I said, when they rejected me at the pearly gates, and I came back, they did. They're like, no, go. And I came back, and I began to have a different kind of life. I began to know things about people without either knowing them or with no previous information, no relationship with them. And I began to see spirits, which scared the bejeevas out of me. My mother loved things like One Step Beyond, and she liked all that. But coming from a very religious home and community, we didn't really talk about that outside the house at all. And And after that, I just kind of really struggled with it. And I had no one to turn to explain why was this happening to me. It was a very difficult time. And then about 1979, my father handed me a book, Life After Life.
No.
And yeah, and that's an oldie. That's a really oldie book. And that put a lot into perspective. Finally, I began, and I still didn't tell anybody till about the 80s, early 80s, because I was doing readings since 75 out of interest. Like I could read for these people. I was using the tarot cards. And then I worked with the police on a murder case. The relatives brought me in. And I just began to say, well, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to actually be doing this. I always held other jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have those other jobs just in
Oh, yeah.
case.
Pay the bills. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to pay the bills. And it went from there. I just, people asked me, mostly everything I've ever done. I never advertised for readings. People recommended people to me. So my first reading in 1974, actually, I said 75, but it's 74. I had three sisters come. They all paid me $5. I was like, oh,
Wow.
oh my God, I made some money at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
know.
that's it. And it just kept happening. People asked me to teach them. People asked me to talk to them. It just, even people, all my books were on the idea of somebody else that thought I should write it. And that's how it happened.
Great. Mama, you got a question for June?
Yeah, I do. What inspired you to write your first book?
It was a friend of mine who actually who used computers. In 1980, God, it must have been about 1988, 89. She had one of those big computers with the floppy disk and all that.
Still
She
have
said,
one.
you still have, oh my God. She said, you should write a book, because people were always asking me the same questions. What will I get out of a reading? What's the best kind of reading? How do I ask questions? Can people actually really take you? I go, oh yeah, there's people out there ready to take your money, and lie to you all the time. So all the years that I was reading, and she said, you should write a book about it. And I said, well, how do you do that? I mean, write a book. How long does that take? Is what I asked her. She goes, "Oh, it'll take me about 6 months." So 2 years later, yeah, and I had a lot of help. I hand wrote it
Oh,
you
yeah.
at first,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
then she gave me this computer, and I'm pecking away, dots and all that stuff. You have to,
Mm-hmm.
so I had people cutting and pasting my handwriting and putting it in places, because you couldn't cut and paste, right? Like
Yeah.
now we cut and paste.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's how the first book came to be, and it took me on a journey, back east. I started doing some book events and down Southern California and back and forth, and kind of opened some doors for me.
Yep. Hi, everybody that's joining in the chat room. Please share the feed and the video. And again, I apologize for the beginning of the show if y'all were trying to be
Yeah,
with us.
because we had it all planned out real nice and speech to go along with it. Then
Right out the window. That's what happens. Yeah, we were. We were going to start scolding some people. Yes,
yes,
we were. We were going to start the show up that way about not coming over and liking our YouTube channel. So that's coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
right after the break.
Right.
Mama's gonna school y'all.
Right.
Oh, don't fool with Mama.
I know. No. No. Let's see. All right. So, you already answered. When did you first start reading? So, all right. What was the first story that you wrote?
The first one was actually was titled "A Professional Psychic Reading as Alternative Counseling," and then I changed it to the Timeless Counselor in 2012 or something, because that was actually the title I wanted. I just couldn't decide. That book was put together in the basement in my basement, my garage, with all the tables set up and all my girlfriends over there eating pizza, drinking wine, and listening to music. That's how that book was put together.
Oh,
And
whatever works, right? That's what makes a good book a good book. A little bit of wine, a little bit of writing.
I love wine.
And
I'll drink that.
well, we have water. We have all water.
Yeah, I have water.
But sometimes, I mean, I don't know because I haven't written one. That makes for good writing. Sorry, my other screens are blinking over here. I don't know what is going on. Did you do something to my house? Do you want
He does.
here? Right. You guys got to hear a funny story. We were talking, June and I, last week. We connected on StreamYard to make sure that it's okay for the show. And as we're talking, she's like, "This is a man." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And you guys that know me know about the man in my house that, when I bought the house and I saw her spirit up on the third floor and everything, she started talking about that. And she brought up the name Dottie. And I'm like, "Oh my God, that was his wife." And she just recently passed away not that long ago. So I want to know what you were getting, because you said you were talking to your daughter, right?
Daughter-in-law. Yeah.
Daughter-in-law. Okay. And said that name kept coming up before we talked.
Yeah.
So she knew we were going to be talking. Now,
Yeah.
that's a topic of discussion right there, is how do these spirits know that you were going to be talking to me and about in this house? You know what I mean? Like, how do you think that works? And did you get a specific message from her?
I did not because my daughter-in-law could not identify. She went back and asked all her family. Nobody had a Dorothy, because it came out Dorothy, so strong. It was the very first thing I got when I started focusing on her uncle who she wanted to contact. And because I dismissed it, I said, well, nobody knows who this is, so I guess it's not for me. And then when I spoke with you, so I should have paid attention. Maybe it'll come back to me. I think it was that he just wanted some kind of recognition that he was honoring her in some way. I honestly can't say because I dismissed the message.
Okay. Well, I was kind of curious, but you did pick up on him. You did get the thing from Dottie, which is still pretty amazing in my book. Now, the picture that I showed with the 4 books, is that all you've written? Do you have another one in the mix coming up?
I have a sequel to one of my first novel, only because people keep asking me. It's a dedication to write a book. Yeah, you have to sit down and actually stop watching television programs and stuff and write.
So when did you go into retirement then, from like doing readings?
Yeah, I actually went in about 4 or 5 years ago. And some of it was brought on by my mother's impending, death, taking care of her, and just being tired. It's very hard to really let go of the beautiful, wonderful people you've been reading for 30, 40 years, and their children and all the changes. But I knew it was time for me to take a rest. And that's what I did. So it's been 4 or 5 years. I keep getting people asking me, to read for them. And I wish I could. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll start again.
Start
I
with
do
me.
medium work, though.
Yeah. Well, Mama does, Oracle deck cards and such. And
I'm an oracle card interpreter. That's what I call myself.
Good
that,
name. Yeah.
that. Yeah. Am I pointing the right way? No, this way. Now I'm on the opposite side. I finally got it right on the right side, and we're flipped.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, there's Bob finally. Here he is. Look at me. Sent a heart. That's our
Aw,
sponsor,
Bob.
Yeah. Yay. Well, this is our second show this week, and our first show was on Tuesday. We had a rescheduled show with someone, Susan Chomsky, and Bob popped in a couple times, but he didn't leave any heart. Mama got upset, so
Highly
I had to
insensitive.
tell him.
oh.
I had to
It's
tell him.
her bowl, but I get the hearts. Okay, this is
Yeah.
just anything that's all love and dove is all supposed to be for me. So I got the one.
Yeah, it's all about Mama.
Sorry, Bob. I still love you now. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. So he's out of the thing now. So Mama, you don't have the right things then.
I found them.
Well, okay, all right. Well then, feel free to join in anytime.
Okay, now I just gotta get them to work. Okay, do you remember the first story you ever wrote?
Yes, it was a story in the 8th grade, which I got an award for, and it was why I like being a citizen of the United States. I can't even remember the exact title, though I do have it up in the cupboard someplace. And it was more of an essay, but it went into like a class of a few schools. It was passed around. And I got the first award for first place for writing about that. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Not that
But
long.
an interesting topic for what grade? What grade was it again?
8th grade.
8th grade.
I came to this country when I was 6.
Oh, okay.
And so I was naturalized
I'm assuming.
when I was 11.
Okay, and you came from
Scotland.
Figures. Duh, Darlene. Okay. No, because you have no accent. Because most people assume, and here's again assuming, making an ass out of you and me, is that when you come from another country, you still have an accent, even though you were here for a long time. Your family, your parents must have still had the accent. So the accent
Oh, yeah.
usually.
When the family gets together, then
Oh
we
lordy.
take over.
Yeah.
You know, it's learning to be acceptable. When you're young, you have to fit in, so you have to drop things. You know.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good evening, Joe. Good evening, Doris. Hi, Candace. Hi, everybody else that's joined in. Please share the video. And again, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It is streaming live on YouTube as we speak. That was actually working. We did have technical difficulties at the beginning. Again, I apologize. So I had to stop and start the new feed. So this feed does not have a title over it. I will put it in at the end of the show, and I will put in the radio archive link also at the end of the show above the link on Facebook. Okay. So now, do you always rate the same kind of things, or do you kind of mix it up a little bit?
Well, I've written a lot of stories. I just haven't really finished them. When I first wrote my book, The Sky in June, the first novel that I wrote it as a screenplay, and I wrote it. The title was "Catholic Girls Make Good Witches."
Yes, we
Thank
do.
you.
Yes,
I
we
was
do.
advised not to do. I was advised not to put it that way, and because my sisters and I, as I said, we grew up in a very, very strict religious home, and we all went to parochial school.
Mhm.
Later, we decided that we were going to have a coven. The majority of my sisters and some of my nieces, and we had a great time studying, witchcraft and the goddess religion. It just felt right.
Yeah.
Coming from a European country, we're much more into the Blessed Virgin Mary than in America. The Catholics and most people are into Jesus and God. In Europe, they're really into much more of again Mary.
Yeah.
So it was real natural for us, and so I wrote the screenplay as somewhat of a like an honoring to my sisters and my nieces. And when I wrote the screenplay, I gave it to an author friend of mine who was doing, pretty well with her book. And she said, "You should make this a book because they will buy a screenplay off of a book faster than a screenplay." And again, I said, "Well, how long is that going to take?" In Gemini, I'm just like, how long
I
are we
want
going
to
to
know. Come on.
And I wrote it, and wow, it turned out, I mean, overwhelmingly positive reviews from readers. They love it. Um, I just had a great time. My family, my sisters and mother, when she's still alive, and we would get together and we would read parts of it. And now you talk about the Scottish language. Well, we were certainly into it at that point, and we were just doing it. And it was one of the greatest fun times for us to be together. And I wrote the story together. I would type as they were writing, as they were talking.
That's awesome. I wouldn't be able to keep up. And my handwriting,
Yeah.
forget about it. I can't even read my own
Look,
handwriting.
I've seen your handwriting. It's nice compared to my chicken scratch.
Nope. Bob can attest. He can attest. I write things down. He goes, write a grocery list for me. I'm like, okay. He comes back with all kinds of shit because you can't read my writing. I'm like, it's right there.
Yeah, you get to the store and you go,
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. My brain works faster than my hand can write.
yeah.
So it just doesn't come out well. And typing is not I have to look at the keyboard to type.
You should have asked Dottie then. She would have helped you.
Right? I should have. I need to ask more of these guys. I have been kind of avoiding them lately just because, I just.
Because she's stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, yeah. Nobody says, yeah. Wow. Why not?
I speak the truth.
What are you gonna do? Let's see. All right, all right. Well, we have a list of questions here that we are asking you, and the next one on the list is what motivated you to become an indie author?
Oh, it goes back to how long will that take? Well, I started sending it out. I did everything that my other author friends, they went to the traditional, publishers, and I started sending it out, and I got a lot of, especially novels. They're really hard to sell, and I got a lot of rejections. As I say, you can wallpaper the wall. And I just really liked the story so much. I wanted to share it that I said, well, I'll print it anyway. So I just went ahead and printed it, and I ordered a whole bunch of them, and I started selling and doing book events and traveling again. And that's what motivated me. What motivated me is I really liked the story. I had fun doing it, and I wanted to share it with people, and they were taking too long getting back to me.
That's awesome. So what was the process like printing yourself, doing that kind of stuff yourself?
It's not easy. You have to have an editor. I mean, absolutely, and editor and spell check, and you find a company that you think is reasonable and what you can afford, and you go through steps with them. They send you how it will look, and there are a lot of choices to make. My husband was in the newspaper business, so he would help me make, where the gutter should be and things like that. I think it's a little easier now. They've made it easier. Back in 2006, I started this process with the book, the first novel, and you had to pick a. I couldn't find the right cover, so my son had a friend that was an artist, so she made the cover for me, and I felt like that cover represented what the story was. Although people said, "Oh, that's kind of outdated," now that they have modern photographs and stuff, I said, I guess what I'm saying is I don't always listen to what other people say I should do.
Thank you.
Good.
And you're in the right company here.
Yeah,
Break
I
that.
like that. And that's the process of self-publishing. One thing is you have to have some money to market. I mean, you have to put money away to market. Absolutely. And it's not, marketing is the big thing. You got to get it out there, and you have to be willing to talk your book up. As difficult as that is to toot your own horn, and certainly I came from a family where we were always told not to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We never did that.
Feeling.
Embarrassing to the family. You have to. You just have to, and it becomes difficult. I've had people say, "Oh, she wrote a book," and I'll say, "Oh yeah, well, I was embarrassed."
So it's like, let's have a parade. Yay.
That's what you need a really good friend or your sister is to post it, say, "Hey, yeah, she did," and just talk it up for you. That's what sisters are for.
You get people to talk it up, and so it has to be. Do you have the willpower to do it? Do you believe in what you're doing? Do you have the money? Are you willing to get out and market it? Where are you going to market it to? And you just start learning, and you just go. And
and always talk to more than one editor too, because there are the ones that are out there to, like someone who was on my show not that long ago was saying that they've gone to a certain publisher. I'm not going to say the name, but they were getting 80% of the books. 80. Wow. I'm like, how the hell? I think maybe he thought it was reversed when he was signing it.
That's unheard of.
Hello. Oh my God.
Wow. Is it a well-known publishing house?
Could we meet later? I'd like to get you in that.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not going to slander. I don't want to have any kind of issues because people that scam like that, they are the ones that, put this.
Oh, they got 80%. I thought you said the author got 80%.
No, the company.
No. The company.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, that's too high. You know what I mean? You're not going to make any money off of any books by giving your publisher 80% of your profit.
It's that way. It's not. I found, and there are actual authors who have been published traditionally by the publishing houses who have gone independent.
Yes.
Yeah.
For that effect, because they take too much.
They take huge,
but not 80%.
Not 80%. Well, right. Not 80%, but it's still
like way too much.
It's really tough.
Yeah, that's like you might as well. They wrote the book. You know what I mean?
Keep your day job.
Exactly.
Get a good editor. Proofreaders, I have been so disappointed. I have put out more money on proofreaders, and then people would say this book had this error. That after as an author, I can't find the errors anymore.
Yeah,
my eyes just don't see them.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's really hard to find good proofreaders. It has been for me.
Right. Yeah, I know. Like Joni Mahan, she has like a lot of people that I know, like friends of ours and stuff, that really good, avid readers, and a few of them are proofreaders for her, and so she sends off, her stuff. She asked me if I wanted to do it one time. I'm like, I'm probably not the best for that, because I'm just, I don't know, my grammar isn't up to par or something, or I wouldn't see it, because again, I I read the story, so I'm getting the story. So if I see, like there'll be, if there's a blatant mistake, I will see it. But sometimes I'm just so into the story that you kind of skip over the words because you're into the
Get
story.
out of it. Yeah.
Not reading word for word for word for word, looking for errors. You're into the story. So that's how I read.
That's
So
how I read too.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it. My mother picked out every comma that was in the wrong place.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have a friend who's a teacher,
Oh,
and I wrote something once, and I just asked him to check it out, and he was like, "Yep." He sent it back with a bunch of red marks. I said, "Dude, I'm not one of your students," but it's great because he's unbiased. He's my friend and all, but he knows that when I put something out there, I want it to be right. So it's like, so find yourself a teacher, find yourself an English teacher, because
that's a good
they'll
idea.
test the
Thank you.
sucker out of it.
That's a
Right.
good idea. I actually had a couple of people I met later after and there were English teachers that offered to do that.
Yeah.
Check my book out, the next one.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Hmm.
See,
whenever.
you have everybody, all ready to go now when you were ready to step back.
Yes. All,
Timing, 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 timing. The things, there's never anything, uh, nothing happens without a reason. You know what I mean? Or, what I'm trying to say.
Nothing happens. Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason.
Everything happens for a reason.
That's
there you
it.
go.
That's
That's
what,
it. Thank you.
that's what I have. But it's
She's,
time,
she's the intelligent person in this group.
timing.
For the moment.
Yeah, I just had one of those days. I was fighting a killer headache all day, and so it's just it's drained me.
It's
But I took a
sitting
lot
right
of
there.
Excedrins. Maybe that's my problem.
Ooh, hang on, Excedrin. And we are not sponsored by
We are
Excedrin.
not sponsoring Excedrins. No, we are not.
Mm.
No, we do
um,
not sponsor. Mama, you got another question about?
yeah, I do. Okay, when did you realize you had, I'm going to go off the books for a little bit, but when did you realize you had psychic abilities? And what was that aha moment?
Um, I I had experiences, but I didn't equate them to psychic abilities.
Hmm.
I just thought they were strange. That I would know. Say I was coming down the stairs, leaving work, and I would see that somebody was waiting for me at the door that I didn't know. That was actually what happened one time. And when I saw him, I said, "I knew you were there." Deja vu. And
Yeah.
when I started reading the tarot cards, 1973 and a half, 1974, I took a class, and the teacher said to me, "You're really good at this." I really believed it was the tarot cards for a long. I thought, well, it must be the cards.
Hmm.
I did not equate it to having psychic abilities, and most likely not until about 1980, a little after I had my son, my first child, my only child, and I was reading and I found out that I kind of didn't need the cards as much. I just knew things about people. And I thought, wow, this is so. Later that year, I started to teach the tarot myself. People asked me to teach them, and I saw psychic abilities, and so I have to say around 19 in the early 1980s, I said, wow, it isn't the cards only, you know,
Yeah.
it's something I
It,
have. It's an
mhm.
ability.
It was the cards were your springboard.
Correct. They
Mhm.
are a communication between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind.
Yep.
So I
I
tell
remember
people,
getting my first deck, and it's my favorite deck. I have a mythical deck. It's a
oh, the myth.
mythical, yeah, and I love it. And it's just like I would always just do like 3 card readings for me, past, present, future, past, present, future. Especially when things are going on, right on every single time. Then I did a few readings for people and whatnot, and then I met Chris George, who does readings with crazy cards, all
Oh, yeah.
different kinds of cards, all different decks. He does this thing called psychic poker, and it's crazy ridiculous. And we used to do events together. and he would have people sitting around the table. I would take people off and teach them paranormal 101 about equipment. And he would sit down and do all these readings, for these people. And then he had me sit down one time. He's like, I want you to read her, with all these cards. And it's just like, it was like a little movie playing out in front of you. And he had all these different decks, so many weird variety of decks too. And because they speak to him, whatever it is, they speak to him. Let your cards speak to you. Mama has more decks. She can stack up and make a wall behind her.
That's really cool.
I love to collect
Wait
that.
for one more.
And she's waiting for another one. But it's like they do speak to you.
They absolutely do, and it helps collect everything you're picking up psychically. Like, okay, let me get focused and deal with this one area. I love it, Mama. Also, I got so many decks. People that would travel around the world, they would bring me back different decks of cards.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I started giving them all away about 5 years ago.
that's funny. I wrote that on my Facebook wall yesterday. Have you ever sat back and wondered what's going to happen to all your stuff when you're gone? And then I
Yeah.
had to write, "Sorry, kids, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So don't
Yeah.
worry about it." But it's a question that for people. I have a friend. She's got, oh God, I think she has over 200 decks.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's like a deck junkie, but she has a
Decks and all.
slip of the word. She has what I call a tickle trunk, traveling, not a traveling. Those big trunks that are at the end of people's beds?
Yes.
Two
Yeah.
of them full.
Oh my God. Oh,
So that when she moved houses, that was it. They all just went in there very nice and neatly. And she said she had over 200 decks. She forgot how many she had. But I'm always curious, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? And my daughter and my niece are like, we'll split them. We'll take care of this. Like, go, people, relax. Okay. It's just a question that you put out there. What are you going to do with all the books? Because I mean, yes, I'm lucky that my daughter is interested in my stuff. And so I know that she would take them and she would take care of them. But what happens to those people whose family isn't interested? One lady said, we'll give them to your students. So it's an interesting thought if you're a teacher, which
Yeah,
you are.
yeah. I mean, hey, that's something to think.
when we go, we're not connected to any of that anyway from the other side.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
But yeah, and those of us that do there are tools. That's what we
Yeah.
do. And like any tool, you have to take like a musical instrument or a tool that you use to create art. You respect it and you hold it in kind of you revere this tool creates for me.
Yeah. Well, that's my deck is on this bookshelf behind me, wrapped in a nice cloth and nice box. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's got its special place.
And now you realize now you're going to have to do a reading for me.
All right.
Yes, you have to do a reading for her.
I have not done one in a while.
June said so. Now you got to do it.
We'll exchange readings.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun. But I'll show you when the show's done. I'll show you. I'll show you the deck, and I do love it.
Oh, I do too. I actually I just finished teaching a class online, and I said, someone said about the tarot. I said, oh man, I'd love to teach a tarot. I really do love the tarot, the study. I'm doing the Kabbalah and the Major Arcana right now. And then I thought how much work it is. 8-week class. Oh, do I want to devote? Do I want to do it?
Yeah.
I do love the tarot.
Do you have something better to do?
Changed my life. Literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Now you said you're studying. Yeah, I just sort of pick up on shiny things. I'm going to count the shiny thing. You said you're studying the Kabbalah.
I'm studying the Kabbalah in relationship to the tarot cards.
Because I want to look into them in relationship with angels.
And where it goes to. I don't learn very easy. I have dyslexia. I didn't know that as a kid. I just thought I was stupid. And that's how they treated you, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, it's so different now.
And it's heady. They go with the cubes and the space and the directions of the cosmic and all of that. So I have to read it very slowly.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, hi everybody. Hi everybody. My thing was stuck. way down here, I didn't see all these people that just joined. So hi, everybody that just joined. So didn't mean to distract you. I'm just waving to
We're
people.
not ignoring you. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, June is very,
I know. I'm just really listening to June. I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention to you people.
so, but the Kabbalah is something that has so many different layers to it. I just discovered the layers that it has on angels, which is my passion.
Oh, really?
I just discovered it because I do another show, and the topic of discussion was angels, and I have my knowledge, and I went to do a little bit more research on it, and I found that there's a, a Kabbalah service on YouTube. And I was like, guess who's watching that more often, just to learn, because I mean I'm open minded, and this is what a lot of people don't get is that you're not open minded enough. So it's an interesting,
Oh, it's really interesting. And as you said, there are so many, you just touch them and you start going more and more, and you realize, wow, this universe. And I'm studying dimensions now. I've gone up to the 12th dimension. It's like, wow, this is trippy, man.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. To me, it doesn't seem far out there. It seems in line, with
yeah.
what we're doing.
Oh, this is an odd question. All right, my sister-in-law Susie wants me to make her a deck. How do I do it when I don't know the characters? Well, you mean a tarot deck?
A tarot deck is pretty simple. They have standard
Yeah, does the major
suit.
arcana, the
You
minor
just
arcana, and
exactly, and then you just go with because there are so many different ones out there. They have the angel or tarot deck. I just got a lovely animal tarot deck. And the thing is, I don't read tarot decks like tarot decks. I read them like oracle cards. That's my.
yeah,
I'm just a.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, what does she like? You know what
Yeah,
I
I was
mean?
going to say, what inspires your sister? As Mama says, there's so many
Yeah,
different decks now. What inspired your sister? You do have to know the tarot. I mean, if you're going to make a tarot deck, and the person asked the question, she very well maybe knows the tarot, but
Yeah.
you really have to know. I tell people the tarot is an art and a science. People tell me, "Oh, I never studied, but I know what it means." There's
yeah,
a reason that they assign. It's based really on numerology,
Hmm.
numerology, astrology, and then the characters form from those two
yeah,
aspects and colors.
yeah. I got another deck that Chris gave to me, steampunk tarot cards,
Now
and
that's Gina.
oh, they are super cool.
Oh yeah,
Can't really read them. They're very difficult to read. What are they? Airships and subterranean something or others, and and I just can't get used to wrap my head around what they are between like swords, pentacles. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
hey,
Mhm.
which one is which? It's just confusing to me. I'm like, yeah, all right, they're pretty to look at, but I can't read them. No.
So many beautiful decks. When I started out, there was kind of real basic. You had the Italian deck, the French deck, with just the numbers, and then you had the Rider Waite deck, which I think is one of
Yeah.
the easiest decks to learn from. You don't have to figure it out a whole lot. You just look at it.
Yeah.
But nowadays, oh man, I have people coming to me with all kinds of different decks, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it's oh my God. I
Yeah.
can see how you guys could definitely want like 50 million decks. Thank God, thank God I'm
Trump
not into
full
that
deck.
because I have enough problem collecting all my foxes.
I'm gonna find your fox deck. There you go.
Oh yes, that's the
Ooh,
perfect one.
that
Yeah.
would be it. All right.
And I
That,
do
that would
believe
be
I
the
know it.
deck that, yeah. If there was a fox deck out there and you guys know about a fox deck, let me know about that. That one I would get. All right. Other than that,
I don't remember seeing
no.
a fox deck. Now I'm going to write that down.
Yeah,
Fo-
have I have never seen one, but I've never really looked for one
I'm
either.
pretty sure that there is one out there.
I'm pretty sure that there is too. I mean, I'm sure there's like wolf decks and things like that. So if there's a wolf one, there's a fox one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a wolf one.
I've
Yes.
seen that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's
Seen
really
that ravens. Every animal has its deck. It's whatever draws. I think it's the creator had to be drawn to wolves in
yeah,
many ways. I have a lot of friends
Yeah.
who are wolves, and okay, and so that was the deck that he went for. My sister is drawn to animals, so that was what she went for. Me, I'm just drawn to decks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Well,
care.
they
Oh,
have the animal, they have the animal one,
Yeah,
Native American animal one, which is
yeah,
good. I like
yeah.
all that one.
I
I,
think Ted Andrews is the one that has the best.
when we were
Um,
asking Dave about what does she
Mm.
like, so she had a near-death experience and she sees ghosts ever since. Yes, I understand that at first firsthand, and so does June.
Right, the spirits. The first spirit that I saw was a young man that came. It was a young man that I knew. Well, young. I was young too. And oh, look at Fox Decks do exist. And up in Oregon, I ran away from home when I was about 24, and took a train to
Running
Oregon.
away.
okay.
Sorry.
I met this young man. He was very nice. And a few years afterwards, he appeared, and I was concerned. And then I got a phone call that day, and his mother said he committed suicide. So he came to me the night before. So it just kept going on from there. My grandfather coming, and just kept happening. They kept showing up for me, and not all ill. Not all negative things at all. Some of it's just absolutely beautiful messages, and just showing up to say, "Hey, how you doing? I made it to the other side."
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then they can go. And then
yeah.
they can go.
Just tell so and so I'm fine. I made it to the other side.
Right. Right. And that's why a lot of them hang around just to say that too.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So now, all right, you work with the what's the name of them? Haunted Bay Paranormal. How did you get involved with them, and what is your role with them?
Well, I'm the medium, and I had the producer. Uh, she had come to me for a reading, a few years before she started this. She started out as a school project, and it just went on from there. Ying Lu is her name, and so she was involved with another group that did all the sound. You know how they measure spirits and all of that, paranormal investigation. So she wants to do something different, and yeah, the ones that have all the equipment and all of that. So she asked me, would I like to do the zodiac? They were going to do the zodiac, and I said, absolutely not. I would never do the zodiac killings. Go to the spaces where they would kill. I said, absolutely not. I would never do it, and you shouldn't do it either, because you shouldn't broadcast something, because some of those relatives are still alive. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
very respectful of people. And
Yeah.
so she said, okay, okay. So she called me back a few days later. She goes, well, will you do the Condor Club? The Condor Club in San Francisco is where, what's her name? What's her name with the Naked Club in San Francisco, where they got up and they danced? Oh God, I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm losing the name.
Is it a burlesque club?
Yes, well, burlesque, yeah, strip joint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I can't believe I can't think of her name right now. So she said, "Do you
Wanda?
want to do the Condor Club?" And I said, "Yes, I've always wanted to see what it was like that inside." And young lady, you do not go into strip joints. I don't
No,
know.
now
Men
they
women
do.
maybe do now, but certainly
Now
not.
the couples thing is like I'm still like, okay, no. I
So
won't
I
even go.
went. We went. My husband drove me down there, and we went down to Broadway Street in San Francisco, and we did the ghost thing there. And I had such a good time that when she asked me to come and do another area, and I really want facts though. I don't want to just go in and say things. I want to know, can you valid? First of all, now I say, don't ever tell me where we're really going. Just ask me if I want to go. I don't want to know about the place. I don't know what it is. And I want facts. After I do this investigation, I want you to give me as much of what I said. I want facts. Can
Mhm.
you get that? It's hard to get historical facts, but
right.
she's been able to do it with just about every place that we've went to. And so I kind of got, yeah,
Hooked.
yeah, I'll go. Yeah, it's fun. Gets me out at night. I don't go out much anymore, so it's become my entertainment in a sense. How sad is that? That's sad life. Oh, I have to
Right.
go look for ghosts just so I could have some entertainment.
Hey, I do it.
Used to be nightclubs and everything, and now it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
exactly.
We investigated a strip club one time. Not when I was with Bob. Before that, when I was with hanging
free
around with
bop.
everybody and stuff,
Free bop.
pre Bob investigation. But we did. We went to a strip club. We got a lot out of that strip club. And then we were having fun because they had like the black lights over the stages
Oh
and stuff.
yeah, the fluorescent
We
lights.
were up there, yeah. Oh yeah, we were having a ball with that. So at the end of the investigation, we had some really funny
Sure.
pictures.
The
Oh,
poles. The
white
poles.
teeth and yeah, we were doing because we looked like we were doing some kind of like a vampire movie or something because of the teeth and everything white under the black light. It was hilarious. But we did get so much
Yeah.
evidence out of there. It was crazy because the girls were going through hell, basically. With the owners, with the people abusing them and whatnot, and so
Yeah, this one here, I saw there was a bizarre uh, death in this conjure club. Very bizarre. Carol Doda. That's the name of
okay.
Carol Doda. Yeah, she was from Vallejo, which is about 45 minutes outside of San Francisco. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to search that one because I have no idea who she is. I'm
Oh, you.
Canadian, by the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like Canadians.
I lived in Canada as a child. We went to Canada and back to Scotland, then over here.
See, she came here and stayed here, Mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imported a husband from the States, so hello. There you go.
You're an
Canadian couldn't handle me.
Come back. Come back.
I just went wherever the parents took me, you know.
Oh yeah, not like you had a choice, but I'm glad you ended up where you ended up. And
I love San Francisco. I really do. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It is really beautiful.
nice,
I'm
nice.
not living there now, but that's where I lived from 6 years until I met this one here who brought me down to the suburbs. Like, I think in the suburbs. I'm a city girl.
Man's fault.
Well, I'm a Pennsylvanian now.
It is
So.
beautiful. I'm looking out right now at the hills with the horses eating. This horse is up in the hills eating.
Oh,
I like it.
that's right. That's right. Because she has her horse, and I was showing her pictures of my horse. I told her
Yeah.
a story about what happened to my horse, which is horrible. My
Yeah,
horse
horses pass.
got poisoned at a stable I just moved it to. It wasn't even there a week yet, and he got poisoned. I was like so upset. And they never caught the guy, but hopefully he's burning in hell somewhere.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Said that, Mama. She's like, but I do hope
Oh no, trust me, people get what they deserve.
Vengeance is mine, says the Lord, and I really do believe in, there's things that we might never know what happens to certain people, but they will get their thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking about any religion, but I do really believe in karma or vengeance is mine. Outside of what we should not involve ourselves in any kind of vengeance.
Though I do have quite a few nice plans for people who do step on.
Either I am a witch. I do know about spells.
Well,
That's my sister. I'm
that's
not the one.
people. It always comes back to you threefold. So
That's why. That's why when I have people say, I would say, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? Because whatever goes around comes back, and it can come back with you."
Yeah, and that's usually the rule of thumb: threefold. You don't want that coming back at you threefold, especially if you really don't like that person and you do something bad to begin with. Picture that 3 times worse. Do you want that? No. Just realize they're gonna get
Does
there.
it still count if you actually beat or out the person?
If you actually do what?
If you beat the heck out of the person who's ticked you off?
Well, that's a
Like,
different part. It's not like putting a spell on them.
I'm not going to spell. I'm going to beat the. I'm going to open up a can.
Well, my father was an amateur boxer in Scotland, and his grandfather was a boxer. And so my father taught us all how to box when we were kids. He had the boxing gloves. He put them on, and he said, "Okay, yeah." We kind of were a pretty wild family.
A boxing class, and actually I had to quit because I had breathing issues. My lips turned blue and everything else. I worked this too hard.
Oh.
I was like, oh shit, so yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? But I loved it. I loved it while I was doing it.
Oh yeah.
And
I think more women should involve themselves in learning to take care of themselves.
Yes.
And
that was
I think they do now.
Now they do. Yeah.
But back in the day, it was like, let the man I was never one of those girls that say let the man take care of me. No. Yeah.
Didn't work for me.
No, I was raised by a strong woman who would just say, like, I'm gonna do it rather than wait for somebody else to do it.
Exactly.
No. So that's the way
Or
I do
find
it.
someone to help me or whatever it is, you
Yeah,
know.
they
But
say, "I'm gonna go out and
I never
shovel
said,
12
"Well,
feet of
I can't
snow."
do that. I can't do
No,
that."
no,
Oh
no.
yeah, bullshit. My father always said, "Women can do anything and men can do, and what we can't, we can get a mule to do it."
I had a friend that told me, he says, "You women have no idea the hours that you have. You just give it all away all the time."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
Mm,
True.
yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing it for many years on my own. We're almost
Yeah,
time. We're almost
makes
time
my
for
skin on myself.
a little break. Yeah, it's different now. I mean, this is like since I moved to Pennsylvania, it's the first time in my life I have not actually worked since I was 9 years old. You know,
Yeah,
and it's just weird. It's really weird.
different.
Gained weight. But what are you gonna do? Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you one more question before we do a little break. And I just want to know that because I know that you were saying how having psychic abilities wasn't so accepted when you were doing that. You didn't even say that you were doing it for like 5 years or so before you actually kind of came out. But does anyone else in your family have these abilities, and did they support you in that?
Right, they did. Yeah, my sisters do. They don't use it like I do. They don't utilize it. They like I do. But yes, to your answer, they do. Now, my mother was always supportive. My father was not. He was kind of a mean man anyway, most of his life. I had a brother. I call him a born again Catholic. He was sure that I was going to Satan in the hell. I better not put this on my Facebook where he goes in and hears me say this. We get along now. We get along now.
yeah,
But I had people telling me how wrong I was, my family was support. My sisters, the females in my family, were supportive to me. Yes, they were
mm,
accepted. They were supportive. They all wanted readings.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it always comes down to. Well, the ones that don't believe, they always say, "Well, I don't believe in that kind of stuff," but this happened to me.
I get,
yeah,
well, if you know so much, tell me what the winning lotto number is. I says, if I knew that, I would use it myself. Why would I tell you?
yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Personal gain. That's all you say. Personal gain. That's another thing that'll bite you in the ass. But all right, well, we're gonna take a quick little 3-minute break right now and watch our ad from our sponsor. And
Yeah. And when we come back, I must scold people.
absolutely, Mama's on it. Watch out. We'll be right back. The Fox Den is now proudly sponsored by Vortex Ghost Gear, one of the leading fabricators of paranormal equipment. Bob Christopher is the founder and creator of Vortex Ghost Gear. He has decades of investigating, starting with his team at NEPA and as lead in the popular local TV show Ghost Detectives. He has experience of how spirits could be seen or heard. Using this knowledge, he has manufactured equipment for specific scenarios of spirit manifestation and communication. He is the only manufacturer of the popular lifelike trigger prop cats and dogs. Using proximity meters wired to lights and sound, these prove to be highly effective communication devices in the field of study. The HTO, another Vortex exclusive, allowing specific items to be the highlight or trigger of your investigation. For example, place the item on a metal tray or attach directly to any metal object such as keys or glasses that continue to go missing or moved. Ask the spirit to touch the item. The HTO will light. It has a sound option as well. This device was used in Travel Channel's Ghost Nation with great results. The Dome, a static detector, can be the most useful device in your gear bag. This is to back up the theory that the spirits manifest using static electricity. Using several, you can track a spirit, for example, walking down a hallway, setting off each as it passes. The geophone detects vibrations. This is another way to track movement. If a claim is footsteps in the hallway or stairwell, set the sensitivity and place the device in that area. Its band of lights will show a range of vibrations from the slightest tapping, lighting only a few lights, to the loudest thumping, lighting the entire range. The Easy Scan Ghost Boxes are very popular due to the ease of use. They are custom decorated to the individual or team using them. Bob programs and uses an Arduino-based computer scanning FM waves to potentially communicate with the spirit realm in real time. Every box is unique and all custom hand decorated by Gina Bankston. The V-Pod has a special place for those who love the idea of REM pods. Use this sleeker, smaller, easier to transport device. It is a must-have in your gear bag. Take your investigating to the next level with many of Vortex Ghost Gear's unique and custom creations by Bob Christopher. Visit www.vortexghostgear.com to view all the products and get your equipment today. You can also investigate with Bob and Gina with ghostly excursions, taking people to some of the most haunted locations in the USA. Visit www.ghostlyexcursions.com and join us on our next adventure.
And wow, that's a great ad. How did you score that? That's good.
Thank you. I made it.
Oh, you made that? Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, you're smart.
Yep.
Speaker, it's easy.
Yep.
But Mama D's got some scolding to do, people.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody loves our show. They come into the show. They check it out in the archives. But what you're forgetting to do is to share the feeds that we're on, and to go to our YouTube channels. And we have 3 in the chat room today. I put in 3. There is the Fox Den, hosted by Gina B. That is where we are live now. Go there and subscribe, because I don't know if everybody notices, but sometimes we put little adverts and little extra bonus episodes on the YouTube channel that don't come onto Facebook. And if you want to know about them, you have to go subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, there's June has her own, June Ahern, on YouTube. She's not impressed with it, but it still gives her notification that she's going to put some stuff up there, and we're going to keep poking her so that she gets more stuff up there. and it's just June Ahern, JUNEAHERN, on YouTube. Just do it. Do a YouTube search, find it, subscribe. And mine, of course, is Mama D Angel, M-A, capital M-A-M-A, capital D, the capital A-N-G-E-L. Simple words. The Fox Den with Gina B. They're in the chat room, people. Okay, but for those of you who are listening in the archives on the audio, it's simple. Just go to YouTube, do this search, because the thing is, everybody wants to get this information out, and people are going to be coming on our shows and sharing their information. If you want to learn more about them, you need to go to the YouTube channel.
There you go. Okay. Thank you very much, Mama D.
So let me get out of pen.
The Fox Den, going by the screen right now. The Fox Den.
You just do it.
Go.
Mama, can I share something?
Yes.
I read auras.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I saw an aura coming up from your shoulders here, and it's yellow with gold. And, and it has to do with what you have been studying for the last year and a half, which you have been looking at. In the last 5 months from now, it's beginning to finally come together or pay off, meaning that there's more financial doors opening for you because of this. So it's actually energy that's moving upward. And that would say to me that what you have been preparing for is now in the process of coming much more into manifestation or activity. But it very much has to do with study, learning, educating yourself.
I don't ever stop. So yeah, makes sense.
She doesn't, and sometimes she keeps me up till 2-3 in the morning. This one, like, okay, nightlife, go to sleep now.
Okay. Dave in the chat room says each time he goes to YouTube, I can't interact. First off, Dave, if you want to interact in the chat room on YouTube, you have to have a YouTube account. It's nothing but putting in your name and your email, and that's it. You don't have to. You technically have a channel, but you don't have to put anything on it. But if you want to interact in the chat rooms or comment on not just ours, but anybody else's YouTube channels, you need to have a YouTube account. Yeah. So go make an account, Dave. Go over there. I'm going to bug you about it.
Well,
it's free. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. an
Exactly.
account.
Trust me, it's in our price range. Free. I'll make
Just,
sure everybody
yeah,
knows.
Oh,
it's
that's
signing
fine.
up so you can sign in, and then you
Yeah.
can get a lot more information. Because, like Mama said, we'll do improv shows, and sometimes like I have this. This is the radio show, so this is the radio time on Thursdays 8 to 10. But we might not always do radio as
Yeah.
well, just a podcast. So when we get great information to get out there, we have great books, we have great authors, we have great people, great psychics. She's going to come out of retirement. She's going to be doing readings.
Look, see, she rolled her eyes. Okay, I'll get it. I'll get it. Okay, June, I also have a show. It's called A Conversation with Friends, and it's not a dog and pony show where you do readings, but I'm trying to figure out how to make people do readings on the shows. So we're gonna get you to come on. It's not
What's your
till
personality?
like November.
Right? I mean, I wasn't going to do anything, but I was just watching your shoulders wave of energy going up. I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and say it to her.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
talk about auras. When was the first time you saw auras? How do
Yeah.
you see auras? And tell us about the colors and what they mean.
Well, when I started teaching the ESP development classes back in the mid '80s, more and more classes, and I was studying auras, and I realized I could see energy around people, and I studied auras in depth, colors, chakras, the whole thing, and I just really enjoyed it. And as time went on, it just got easier and easier. And the benefit of auras, you learn how to communicate with somebody because you can see their energy. Now we do this anyway. A lot of people do this anyway. Anyway, they go, "Oh, that person has bad vibes, good vibes," but they don't always relate to where do they see the energy in. Because I saw Mama's on her shoulders, it felt like things had been kind of heavy for her, since about 2005, and then later 2015, lightening up a little bit, and they're only going to keep lightening up for her. And so I just saw this like being up, like pulled up like that. And I knew it was had to do with her intelligence and what she was educating herself in. She's preparing herself for better changes, and it's going to pay off because of where I saw it in her body. So this would be associated with her chakra, and she's speaking, she's doing radio, and maybe doing talks or lectures. And then also from her heart, like the heart, the accepting of her hurts, and saying, okay, if I accepted it hurt, it's okay because now I can mend it. Something like that.
And I think when people hurt, um, I used to think before I sort of like opened up for myself. I used to think if I could just go back and change this, everything would be better. But now I realize everything happened for a reason, and every good, bad, and otherwise that happened back there made me the woman that I am today. Made me be able to understand and accept stuff that's going on and help people to deal with what's going on in their lives. And a lot of the people go, "Well, don't you have training?" No, I don't have training. I'm a mom. That's my
Yeah,
training.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, but
Yeah.
thank you for that. That's very nice.
Yeah. Oh, auras are fun.
they
From
are.
all
Have you ever
over.
seen the aura pictures? I always wanted to get one of those aura cameras just to see if they work, but they're too damn expensive to even do.
I do. I wanted them too, but they're too expensive. I've got some aura pictures at fairs, whole life expo and stuff. Wow, they're trippy.
Yes, they are.
I
But
put them on my blog, different ones, and I talked about this is what was happening at that time.
oh yeah, yeah. So your aura can change, like
Oh
you
yeah, it does change.
going through and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so if
Absolutely.
someone gets an aura reading, that's that time. It's that
At
time.
that time.
Regular
Yeah.
reading. It's that time. Is what
Yeah,
you're
I
in.
do it for my clients, my non-clients anymore. I do it for my non-clients anymore, and they keep them. And how they change over the time.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend, Dorothy Holder, who does aura readings, and she used to have an aura camera, and she
Oh,
said it
jealous.
was like
Envious.
she
Envious.
does it now. So what she sees, like you saw the yellow, so what she sees, she puts it into a program where she puts it in with the colors on like a paint thing. So
Oh,
you'll see exactly what she sees by the colors. So like you can sit there. You told me you saw yellow, so she'll see that and she'll put it into the picture so people have the reference of actually seeing what she saw. But she says it's more what you see is a lot more intense than what you see with an aura camera.
yeah. Well, I've heard, through several
It's
people that, some of them are just crap. not right, not good.
Yeah.
Don't really do that. There's just like filters in there, and you can change it and tweak it so that each person gets something different. And then there's ones that
Yeah.
do
Well,
work. So
she
you gotta
had, like she said,
research.
she had a really good one. It cost, it cost, as I say, it cost an arm and a leg,
Yes,
but but once you get to start seeing them, she sees them, and she's been doing this like for 100 million years. She keeps saying she's old, but still a
oh yeah,
baby.
you could do like a
She
Photoshop
does,
thing.
yeah, she does a Photoshop where she adds the colors. What she sees on you, she'll
Right.
put it into the picture, and then you'll get to actually see it. She did it to me once. It's like, holy cow!
I
Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
yeah, I do. I think auras are very interesting. I've wanted to study them, but again, I don't see them, so
Hmm.
I could learn about them.
You absolutely, you can
Still,
see them. You can learn how to see them.
right. Well, maybe you'll have to teach me how to see them.
I did.
I don't see
Retirement,
colors. I
right?
see shimmers.
You what?
I don't see colors. I see shimmers.
Uh,
Okay, when you're outside and the ground is like super hot and you see that shimmer.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I see that around people. No color. It's just a shimmer. So that's for me. That's my
But
Yeah,
aura.
vibrations. Yeah,
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 vibrational energy. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
that's
something.
really auras, but without the color yet.
I see in black and white.
Yet. See,
Yeah,
that's like step
it
one.
takes
That's like
place.
first, baby steps.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you continue that, then you'd probably be seeing auras.
Well,
exactly.
I've always seen that. I've always been able to see that. But it's not it to me that's not I mean, there's a lot of things out there that people want to learn. Like I've always been like, I'm not sure if I want to actually see spirit. I like the idea of hearing them, but because
Yes,
but yeah, because Gina can hear them. Gina can hear the vibrations.
Yeah, I hear tones. After my near death thing, it's like when they come near me or come into the room, I hear this tone, and then if they get closer to me, it's deafening. And if it's a
oh,
low tone, I get a little nervous. But if it's a medium tone or a high tone, I know it's okay. You know, so it's beneficial to me. When we take people to haunted locations, and some people are nervous, so they stick with us. And that's fine, and we show them the equipment, they can use our equipment, blah, blah, blah. So we go through a place. If I get that low tone and I have these people with me, I will steer them to another area. So I will use it, to benefit them to get them away from something that could be potentially negative.
that's good.
So, and it helps. But sometimes they just come rushing right up at you and it's like, oh my God. And it's like someone's sticking a knife in your ear almost.
Ooh,
It's so sharp, like get. And usually they do. If you tell them, okay, all right, I know you're here, you just gotta back off a little bit.
Back the
If I'm
truck up.
really focused, I can see them sometimes. Like I saw the man here. I told you about that. When I
yes,
looked at the house, I saw him out of the corner of my eye. I if I go to look at them when I can I can they're always in the peripheral. And if I go to look at them, then they go away. Or I'll
they
catch
do.
them. Like I saw the lady sitting on my bed coming up the stairs one time. And it's like as soon as I really start to focus on them or look at them, they're gone. It's frustrating, but I do like to use my equipment more than I like to see them.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
so that's
Clear
just
audio, and that's what I tell people when I'm teaching them. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. It's finding your own way,
right.
Hmm.
and to feel comfortable with your own way. You can't just expect that we're all going to be able to see them.
No, no,
Yeah.
definitely not. But
That's why we have the different clairs. Everybody will see differently, and
that's
I
it.
hear, every now we hear the word empath. Oh well, I'm really empathic. I'm really empathic, and I say, what does that mean to you? Well, I'm
yeah,
very, very sensitive. Okay, what does that mean to you? Where are you sensitive? Are you sensitive because you hear it? Are you sensitive because you see it? And so there's not an understanding of what empathic really, how it affects your life. Maybe not what it means by the dictionary terms, or
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's how are you affected by it, and
Right.
how can you affect it? How does you affect other situations?
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
some
all or
people
anything.
can't go out into public places because they say every time that they come near someone who's negative, they get that negative, or they'll,
Yeah.
so they'll be walking to a room and they'll be totally fine. And then by the time they leave, they've gone through every single emotion in the book between being sad, angry, upset, jealous, whatever, because they're picking up on everybody's stuff. And I always say, ground and shield, ground and shield.
That's the first thing I teach is how to protect yourself.
Yes. And
Any
that's,
class I got is how to protect yourself.
yeah. And we all, everybody's empathic. I mean, really, to a degree. It's just some
Yeah.
people are highly more sensitive. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. As
So,
I always say, I can see dead people, but I can't hardly sew a button. Yeah. I
Yeah,
have
draw a
friends
straight
that could
line.
make outfits and go out that night. I'm like this, hoping that the I don't put it
yeah.
around the thing.
Nope, nope, nope. No can do either. I broke a sewing machine. I bought one of those machines that
Oh,
had all the stitches on it. You can push a button and do all these stitches. And I'm
As
like,
long
oh,
as it got the straight line, I'm good.
I
I'm just so
forgot.
happy. I have done hats before, and they actually kind of were pants were some are high and some are low, and
You know what I got? Iron tape. It's like this.
yes,
That's the best shit in the world.
We all get along real good with that one.
You can do all your hems, all your repairs, iron it. There you go, done.
I'd like to teach kids again. I used to teach some psychic classes to kids. They are fantastic because they don't go through all this. Well, I don't know if this is true. I always tell, don't use that in my class. Kids are like, I saw this or I heard
Yeah.
that. They're
Right.
fantastic to teach. I'd really like to start teaching kids again. You
Well,
know?
we should definitely do that because that is so needed. Back in our days and before that, all this was poo-pooed upon.
Yeah.
No
Oh
one
yeah,
the kids
condemn.
don't do that. Yeah. So now the kids have such a better outlet with
More psychic kids awareness now.
yes.
More
So
kids being born with that old soul psychic awareness.
yeah, and to be taught the right way, to be
Yes,
taught respect for the spirit realm, to be taught all that stuff at such a young age. Imagine how far they're going to go. Imagine if you had that when you were
yes,
younger.
exactly.
How far you could have gone.
Instead of when I really do look at it now, as I got comfortable with my abilities and as I reflect back, I realize that there was some of that going on before the accident. It was already happening before, but there was no way to talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
My son was very psychic. He picked the right mother to come born, and he told me he picked me. He
Ah,
said,
Yeah.
"Did you want me, mommy?" I said, "Oh yeah, I prayed." He said, "Oh, I know you prayed, but I watched you for a long time, and then I came here. I came down into here."
get chills.
And
That
I went, "Whoa!" And he was only like 3 years old, and he's telling me about this. I told God I want to come to her. So
wow.
that
Yeah.
was interesting. Yeah.
So now, okay. Now, would you say that that's like a reincarnation, an older soul or a newer soul
My
coming?
son,
Yeah.
or yeah, definitely an old soul. I mean, for a young age, he would tell me about his other lifetimes. He would say, "You're not my mommy. I want my real mommy." And then he told me, "I was your daddy before. I had and lived in a place." He told me about my teeth up here all got bad because there was no goats, or I only had goat milk. And it's interesting because he's allergic to dairy. He said we didn't have any oranges. That's what he said for his teeth up here. He's only 3.5,
Oh,
know.
my. Oh,
And he told me he fought in a war where he wore on his head like that on the hat.
So
Remember?
that was the Civil War.
Civil
Yeah,
War.
yeah. Well, he didn't know Civil War, and then I took
Yeah.
him to the library and we looked through books, and he would point out cannons and things. He goes, "There, like there I am."
Wow.
So he got to an age, once they go to school, it's kind of over.
Yeah.
He worked with me on a police case. He actually came up with some of the better information, which sorry to say, I didn't want the police bothering him, so I went ahead and said it was me.
That makes sense. That's mother's protection.
I was protecting him. No,
Yeah.
but I recorded him.
How
I can't find the tape recorder, but him telling me really vital information. The guy ended up with working with the police. He actually went to prison for 25 years. He just got out late last year, about November of last year.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
So the guy's never tried to like find you. Does he know about you?
Oh God, I hope not.
Hmm. Me too. Me
It's a
too.
long story, but yeah.
Well, what was the case about? Do you
It
remember?
was a client of mine, sister-in-law, and I had been reading for this client for a while. And then her sister-in-law came, and then a couple of years later, she ended up. She was, after work, she had a couple of drinks, and she took a ride off somebody who was in the group of friends of theirs. Turned out nobody really knew him, and he took her out and he raped and murdered her.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
God.
mother of two young children.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm glad you did what you did and you caught him. So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
that's
was
what
hard.
counts.
It was
All
hard.
right. Now one of our like written questions was is there a difference between intuition and psychic? And I think that's a good question. I do want to bring up this subject because yeah, we were already talking about empathic abilities and
Mhm.
senses and stuff like that, and psychic abilities. So now intuitive people and intuition. All right, what is your definition?
Well, I look at it this way. It's a different. Well, it's like you're in eighth grade and you're in high school. You know, you're still studying maybe math, but you've elevated. You're in algebra or geometry or such like that. So there's a different consciousness that happens. Intuition is everybody has intuition. Whether they like it or not, we all have a sense. And we work from it, and it usually happens somewhere in the body. My intuitive self is feeling it, and then as
It's
you
like
go into the psychic mind, you're even going into a deeper place of seeing and hearing on a different level than just saying, I kind of feel this thing is happening. But when you enter the psychic mind, you're saying, I envisioned, or I saw it, or I heard it, like you. I hear noises come in. An intuitive person wouldn't really say that as much. They would say, well, I kind of feel there's sounds around me. Whereas you say, there's sounds around me and it sounds like this. That's the psychic mind. And then above the psychic mind, you get into the mystic mind. You do it enough and you meditate. There are certain practices that you do to elevate yourself above the psychic mind, which includes the astral plane. You know about the astral plane, of course, and everything happens in the astral plane. You don't want to stay there with the psychic mind. You want to elevate it to the mystic mind. Like people ask me, how do you get your information? Well, at one time I used to say, well, I'm very clairvoyant. I see. And then it was, I'm clear audio. And then I'm clear set. Then I realized I just know.
yeah,
So when people
Mhm.
say, well, yeah, then people say,
that's
well, no, that wasn't me, or
clear
that wasn't. I always say, whatever.
claircognizant. That's knowing.
Yeah,
I have
knowing.
clear cognizance is in knowing how to do things.
Yes, there
I
you go.
I can build things. I know how to like construction wise, things like that. I can just the way I see it. I look at a room, I see it blown apart. I look at a piece of
Wow.
furniture, I see it blown apart. And how I always explained it. You ever watch that show Unearthed on
Yes.
the
Yeah, I
show?
think I
How
did.
they blow apart a thing. I'm just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, there it is. How I've explained that for years. That is how I see things. Like it's just poof. Like I can just see it and then come back together again. So I know how to build it. I know how it goes together. I know what's behind it. I know what's in it. I know what's under it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's crazy, but
That is that's a talent more
it's
than even an ability. That's a
yeah.
talent.
And I
Yeah.
and I've always had that. So it's not anything that's different for me. So I thought everybody could do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, why
Yeah.
can't
They
I
can.
was trying to teach someone how to, to build a piece of furniture, and I'm like, well, don't you know where the rail, the styles, the side, you need this framework that this is going to come out on. Don't you understand what goes in there? And they're like, no, I have no clue. I'm like, well, just picture like a frame. You got to put a frame down, a frame above it, and just everything. Picture frames. So you get a little frame on the side, you get a little frame on the bottom, you get a little frame on the top, and the thing goes in the center. There you go. Right? It's like
Trust me.
you can't see this. I mean, it's simple. It's right there. No, no clue what I was talking about. I was like, all right, forget it. Just go. I'll do it. Just go.
Exactly. It's like it's so much easier just to do it yourself and then to try and teach someone to do it or
Yeah,
explain someone to do it. Yeah.
yeah. Because like my writing, my brain works faster than my mouth can or my hand can. Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's why we have talk to text. You just talk it out. Worry about your accent later. Talk it out, and it'll.
My accent has my phones learn my accents to a degree. sometimes they come out really.
Okay, well, excuse me, can you repeat that, please?
I did not say that. No, that is not what I meant.
Mm.
Oh my God. But I
When
mean,
you
everyone has different
don't,
abilities.
okay, when you have people that you're teaching, okay, do you find that, like, I know everybody has a certain amount of abilities, but have you ever met somebody who is like, I can do this, I can do this, or I want to do this, I want to do this, but you know that that's not where they're meant to go, that you sort of have to guide them into another direction?
Yes, I can. Uh, I had um, I had an attorney that was taking my class, and he needed to take an ESP class, and he just was not going to get it because it had to be right or wrong. And
Hmm.
so what I did is I suggested to him with his intuitive feelings that he should do fact checking. That he would be more comfortable with looking how to make it appear to him that he was on the right path.
Yeah,
So if I see somebody that say, I've had people I teach the tarot to that they absolutely only will read the cards and the definition. They just cannot use their intuition with it.
they don't feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
See,
they
but I
just
can't get the
can't.
books.
Yep.
And so it would be like, well, you could read the cards. It could be fun for you. You do it for your friends, or if you want to do a little party or something like that. But they are not going to be that particular psychic that goes beyond the cards and goes deeper into it.
Yeah.
So I don't discourage them, but I can see it's just not going to happen. But it's very seldom. Most people that come, um, they just need that encouragement to
Yeah.
believe,
Right.
just to
Right.
believe.
Right.
Yeah.
People with the more scientific minds, it
Yeah.
is harder for them.
If
It
Chris,
really is.
this is the one that I was talking about before that does that psychic poker. That with all the million decks of cards.
Oh, like that man right there,
Chris,
Chi.
yeah. See. Yep.
See,
Yeah. Chris George. Yeah, he's going to be on our show on May 28th, I
Oh,
believe it
and I
is.
can't wait. I
Yeah.
get I get to be with Pookie.
Call him Pookie. He's like my brother. You
I
know,
know.
my
And
is your
brother.
no one else
brother?
is,
He's my brother from another mother.
and no one else is allowed to call him that, but it's like magic. Yeah, so I'm good.
He's my brother or another mother.
You'll be talking like me in no time, dude.
No time at all.
Y'all will be. All of you. All of yous.
You'll see. You'll see.
No, I still have my southern accent that comes
Mark
out
my
every so often,
word.
and I have no idea where it comes from.
I love the way that you talk. What we have to worry about is if she starts speaking French, and
Yeah,
someone's
yeah,
in trouble.
yeah.
Oh, from Quebec?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. But to reel us back in from the shiny ball, all right, now
That was George. That was Chris. Tiny ball.
how can people be more aware of their psychic mind though?
One thing is to accept it. I mean, just to say, "Wow, I had this feeling that," or I imaged. I think it's important for people to look at their psychic impressions without jumping feet first into them, or without holding themselves really back and say
Mm.
that's a coincidence. I just finished teaching a class, and the woman in the beginning started out saying, "Oh yeah, that was kind of a coincidence," and I said, "Would you stop saying that? You actually did get it." Like every time she got an impression, she says, "Oh wow, that was a coincidence."
Yeah, no
To
such.
investigate it, to say, okay, again, what does it mean in my life or the life of another person? What is that impression about, or that message about? Uh, to become more of the have a little fun with it. When I teach, I do a lot of games
Oh,
and
cool.
learn about it in a simple like way. Litany Burns is a psychic I met a long time ago that has a good book with a lot of games in it of how to grow your psychic mind. I think you approach it with having a fun time with it, with playing with it. That's how you're going to develop it, is by playing with it,
And
being
what was
aware
the
of
name?
your senses.
Yeah, not a lot of technical jargon and what.
No, no, because it's like an artist at work.
Okay, what was the name of the person's book?
Litany Burns,
Litany.
Burns, Litany, Litany. How to develop your psychic mind, how to develop your psychic, like that. And I read that back in the early 1980s, and then when I went out to New York, I met her, and she's written a book for children, and I really like her books because they're simple to follow. I like simplicity. You know, I I,
Yeah.
I think people overthink and overdo, and the psychic mind is
Mm,
so natural.
yeah.
We all have it.
Yeah.
We're all psychic to a degree, different degrees. Like
Definitely.
Yeah.
I could never do what Foxy Lady does. I just couldn't do it.
Mm-mm, nuh-uh.
Even when
Yeah.
she's talking about, can't you see the square? I upholstered a couch once. I had to have somebody fix it for me at the end. It just
That's
was
what I have
like,
a husband for. He fixes it all. I can't even draw a straight line with a T square, which used to make
I
my
can
draft
draw. I can
teacher
really
there.
draw. People used to pay me to draw pictures for them. So I think everybody can draw, but we can all draw something, but we cannot. There's some of us that just draw differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an artist, and it's like I got that from my mom, but the carpentry I think I got from my dad, or just it's just in me. I don't know. Like my family, everyone has a single thing they're good at,
Yeah, your unique self.
and I got the gambit. I got like, no matter what I do, I can do it. You know what I mean? It's like I'll pick something and I will excel at it just because I'm OCD, maybe. I don't know, but I mean, you know,
You're talented. Yeah.
I just do, It's and then my dad always said too, and I said about the mule thing, he always said too that if someone else can do it, so can you. So there it is.
What a good dad.
So yeah, and he wouldn't step in, like he had all the tools. Like I have more tools than pretty much any man you know of. All right, I have all of those tools. My workshop is ginormous. Bob's is just big.
He gets a man drawer.
He's got the coal bin area where his job is, but he does electronics, so he does the little thing. I can't do that. I can't do the little thing. I want to smash it with a sledgehammer. It's like, no, give me the sledgehammer. I will knock the wall down and I will build some cabinets and throw them up for you. All right.
Wow.
Here we go. All right.
Oh man, what a woman.
I'm gonna have to build our house.
So my dad would watch, if we were going down to do something, trying to figure something out, he would watch and he would say anything, nothing, unless you were going to about to cut your finger off or something, then it'd say, all right, hold on now, get the push stick, because we'll be trying to cut a little thing, going through the blades right on the fence, and be like,
Wow.
get the push stick, he might say something like that, but again, he didn't really have to. It's like I just saw it. I just knew it, what to do, It's really weird. We got a lot of
Yeah.
comments from the YouTube, which is really cool right now.
That's Sharon.
Oh, hi Sharon in the YouTube. That's
She's
awesome.
checking it out for us.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. It's a newer thing for us. So
The YouTube.
yeah, with the
Yeah,
streaming.
we're simulcasting to both Facebook and YouTube. We used to just do Facebook, but then we got a sponsor who is very nice and is helping us with so that we can simulcast to both.
Wow, you ladies see that I think like that's wow, you could do that?
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
it's
There's
really
nothing to it.
he's got talent.
it's fun. It's fun. You should come on more with us. We do one of our little improv things. We should do that. Maybe you could do some readings for people. Trying to get you into more some readings. Pull cards or something for people.
I got my cards right here.
All right.
Which
Well,
is okay. Let me see your deck. Let me see your deck. I need to
I
see the
just have
deck.
the Rider Waite deck.
well, you
Which
know what?
one? Okay, the original Rider Waite. Okay,
Yeah,
I have the cheater ones.
I have the inner child cards. They're fun.
Ooh, I'll be one of those.
Okay, all right. I've got to exercise.
Make it work.
Stretch my waistline. What used to be my waistline.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the coronavirus gave us a corona tummy. Corona.
Oh my God!
Corona thighs. I'm corona. Everyone.
A little more chocolate.
Even my cat is getting fatter.
My dog can't even jump off the bed.
Mm.
Together.
Okay, we got a quick question in the chat room from Jessica. How can you tell when it's an impression of and not your imagination? By the way, impression is exactly how I described my coincidence, and it's great to know that how I thought it could be. It was not how I thought it would be.
It's not easy. The psychic mind, the intuition, psychic mind, impression are like this. They come from the same part of the brain.
Mhm.
Artist creativity, they come from the same part of the brain. If it's your imagination, again, I'm all for saying follow it through, look and see. Is it something you had that you had thought about, or someone else had thought about it? Did you pick it up telepathically? And you just have to pay attention and see, does it pan out? Does it pay? Where does it go? Where do you go with it? So it's not easy. There's times I've thought that I got a psychic impression, and it turned out that no, I didn't get the right one. It was something I had imagined was going to happen, for maybe out of my wish. Oh God, I wish this would turn out, or I'm
Mhm.
afraid this will turn out. It's a very difficult at times to separate the two. That's a question I'm asked a lot, and it's okay. How do you know when you have a psychic impression? And you ladies will know this. It's just so strong. You just know it's not your imagination.
Yeah.
You just say, when people say, my husband will say sometimes, oh, probably you're just thinking that. And I'll say, no, no, I know that this happened, or I know the person's this way, or whatever it
Mhm.
is. And it turns out in time. Time will tell you. I've had people who
Yeah.
really say, no, June, that's not right, only to have to come back later, months
Yeah,
later, years later, and say, oh my God, you were right.
right.
I mean, I don't need to be right, and I don't need to be right. I'm not attached to right or wrong. What I
Yeah.
do is, does
You
it help
do
you?
what
Is
you
it
see.
useful?
That's it.
Does it work for you? Does it make a difference in your life for a more positive thing? Okay, Foxy Lady. I hope that answered that question.
I
For
think so. Jess,
That
we
was
can talk
Jessica.
about that one. I'm gonna see you some one of our ghost hunts coming up, I'm sure, Jess. And we can talk.
okay, Foxy Lady says, let me see what comes up for her. Oh, two. I'll put this one aside. Oh, this is interesting. Wait a minute, let me see.
Gonna
Wait in
go
front of your nose.
face. Yeah. Look at that. Is that foxes on there?
That is building. You see how they're building?
They're building. Yeah. Okay.
They're
Oh,
building.
look at that.
They're building.
I'm good. And wow, yeah,
You should talk about building, right?
I'm yes. The other day, she made me come in and make an ad, but I was gonna go out into my garage and start taking some
You
nail.
also have garden fairies, Gina, around you.
Mhm.
A lot of garden fairies. So these are building, and it's saying build your life in a practical manner. It's the four of crystals, and four, as you know, Mama, is a building number. You
Mhm.
know, and so this is about buildings. Beautiful card. And then along with that came, oh, four of swords.
Oh,
That's, I have to go the
Building.
opposite here. That's most interesting. You see the little dove in the hand there,
yeah.
and throw your line into the water. It has to do with the four of swords, and that is, don't worry. Even though you're worried, it's going to work out, but you just got to go down that path, that river. Got to go a little bit more before you get to a good place. That might have to do with either paying off a debt or an impending debt thing coming up. But don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yes, it's going to cause some worry, but just keep building it correctly. So
Okay.
patience. I think it has to do with patience with what you're
Not
building.
Oh yeah, she's not good with patience.
no.
Here's some of the words that come out of this child's mouth. Hmm.
Right.
Well,
No,
what
just
keeps me up till 2 in the morning, and we're trying to do something like, what the god? Freaking.
all right. Okay.
Oh,
So let's see. How about you, Mama? You want to look at
Yes,
one?
please.
Tell me when.
When?
Okay. So it's this card right here. Beautiful. Go
right
the
in front
opposite.
of your face. Yeah.
So there you have the star,
Oh,
the golden star with the little ship, and you have her with the treasure chest, and she's pulling out the winged heart.
she's a mermaid.
And so, yes, that's the five of hearts. When you're when you're searching within yourself, we talked about your heart when we did the aura thing.
Mhm.
When you're searching for that feeling of uh, going back to your real unique self, your original face. Who are you really? In Buddhism, they say, who are you really? What's your real face about? Then you find this sense of belonging again. in a kind of a more collective artistic group of people. That's what I think this is about. Finding your true self is with people who are creative. That's where you belong. You belong in that kind of aspect. I'm just going to pick another one and see what. Well, I'll pick one that I or underneath it. Ah, go the opposite way. You see a building together. Look at all those
Yep.
people in that garden,
See, you're in the garden with me.
and that is Four of Wands. So that would be as you discover. Let's see if I can put them together. As you discover in your heart the truth of your heart. Everything's the opposite way for me here. Okay,
It
discover
is.
the truth of your heart. You belong to this group, building together. How do I build my life? Not just prosperity, in the money sense, but how do I prosper in my life? By being with the other group of people that are like minded, that help support you and get you. They get you. That might have to do with an actual project of creating uh, I don't know if it's a joint writing a book together or if it has to do with like a group of people that make like a learning place. Maybe you are going to be also doing classes or giving talks, but within a group though, not just you.
Okay.
Supported by a group,
Remember those
like
co-op
a spiritualist
they
church.
used to have? Where
Sorry,
all
what?
the co-op buildings that they used to do, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
popular 70s and 80s, and you had all
yeah.
the artists in single places and all doing their thing. Yeah, I could picture you in one of those.
I'm gonna do with
Butterflies
my
all
husband.
over the place, all decorated nice, people coming in for readings.
Yeah, people coming in and people seeing you and people being attracted to your energy. Not only the other people in the co-op, but people coming into the co-op or a group, whatever the group is.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you have a lot more leadership qualities than you like to display.
Yeah. Sharon
Plead
says,
the fifth.
"Ding, ding,
Canadian, but I married American, so I plead the fifth.
ding."
But thank you.
I know. Is it possible to do
Or to share it?
Yeah.
Sharon?
Okay. Let's see. I'll put that card there.
Sharon's our tech
I
genius.
gotta tell you, Sharon, you've got to stop just talking about it and you've got to do it. And it might have to be with that you're in a situation where there's loud talk or loud people or something that disturbs like Foxy here. She's very sensitive to sound, and I think you're very sensitive to sound too. So if you're around anyone that is speaking disparagingly or too loud, like kind of angry loud, you're going to have to leave that situation. So let's see what comes up. Okay,
In front of your nose.
this way, yeah. And here we have the mother holding the earth. So we know Sharon has a real sense of connected to the earth, connected for caring for people, really feeling like if she's not part of the movement in humanity, that's where she'll find her soul. She'll really find her soul in humanity, doing for humanity. And I think this has to do with teaching. I think that she is a natural teacher, but in order to do that, I think she's going to want to make a special place for herself to be her. Too many people are either dominating her energy place.
I don't understand about your 12-year-old, Sharon. What does that mean? What is that reference to? But Sharon is she helps us when we have our technical issues, so she does teach us.
Oh, okay. She's kind of a natural at it, and she's just so like this. She's just so Mother Earth, you know. She just got that energy. You see the wings on her,
Yep.
on Mother Earth. The wings here. I actually love. I don't have the book right here, but they have a beautiful way. I love the words they use when they talk about their cards. It's card reference.
Ah,
Cursing
her
her out.
12-year-old's been cursing her out.
Ah, okay.
What's the loud talk?
Your 12-year-old needs to have a good talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
No,
affecting
you
her
made her.
whole
You make
aura.
another like her.
You know that it's just affecting her whole aura.
Mm. Yeah, Sharon's a bit. She's very sensitive. She's very sensitive. We had this conversation just the other day.
Is she a Pisces, a water sign?
Is she? I don't know what is your sign, Sharon? But she was upset over something that was said on Facebook. I'm like, well, if you don't like something that's said on Facebook, don't look at it.
That's why that's
all
why I took a break from it. I just back
yeah,
at it now, but
there's
I
plenty.
sent you a friend request.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm back at it, but I'm very carefully
Oh,
back at it now.
she's a
Yeah,
Capricorn. She's a
she's a
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Like
Oh,
me.
earthy mom. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn.
Yeah, that earth energy.
Nice, nice. Hey,
That's
but
nice.
yeah. So Sharon's you gotta not be. Don't put yourself in those situations because you are so sensitive. To get upset.
Or find a way to learn how to deal with your daughter's outbursts from maybe a professional. Maybe it's time for you to look to a professional. Say, how do I deal with my daughter's outbursts?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult now with the situation we're all in,
Oh
especially.
yeah, I
But
have
I
my
also
daughter-in-law has
find,
three boys,
yeah,
and I'm hearing it from her all the time.
okay. Bob Christopher would like a card, I'm guessing, because he got his hand up.
Oh,
Oh,
is
he
that
does.
what that is? All I see is little squares. So I don't know what that
It's
symbol.
it's Bob Christopher's got his hand up, so he's saying how he's got a card. Would you mind drawing a card
Yeah,
for
see,
our
I did
thingamabob?
square, and a something with an arrow.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh,
What's
in
this?
front of your nose.
Yeah, right in front of your nose, right in front of your face,
This way.
right
Yeah,
there.
perfect.
Oh, he's my knight in shining
Okay.
armor.
You,
Armor.
you see that beauty of that card opening up his heart, and the horse is his power, and he's looking up. He's looking up at there's a little winged energy up there. The lighting in here. Let me see if that helps.
Just,
I have
just
to go the opposite way. Yeah,
yep. Tip it down.
tip it down.
Yeah, like a
Perfect.
bit of up. Just go down.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that takes the glare out. Yeah, and now just push it up so you can see the whole card.
You see his heart opening up.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there's doors on his chest, opening up in his armor.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
opening up his armor, and so he's telling his truth more. He's coming from his heart because he certainly feels. Since last September, during the time of Virgo, he began to acknowledge his what we call the feminine within. We all have to have female and male to balance us as human beings. He began to feel more creative, more willing to speak. I'm even wondering if Bob's been in touch with spirit, if he has felt the spirit of a male around him, maybe his father, something like that. There's a playful side to him. I mean, this guy does like to play, you know. But he's really been doing a lot of healing over the last 5 or 6 years of his life, and being touched by his emotions. Really feeling he's safe now. He's safe to really show his love. This guy is very loyal, very loving, very devoted. So
Thanks.
That's why he put cards in the room for me.
that, is that yours? Is it
Yeah.
yours?
That's Gina's.
My man, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but his
okay.
dad sends messages. His dad sent a message through me one time. We were all at a gathering, a birthday party, and I looked at his mom, and I called her Hawkeye, and that's what his dad used to call. Everybody looked at me, and I'm like, what? What did I say? What did I do? I don't know where it came from. I never. It's not something I always say or have ever said before, but everyone was just like, "Oh my God!" Then my dad called her that. So it's really crazy.
Cool.
His dad, yeah,
And that's an unusual name. I mean, to come up with that name.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in a restaurant. We're all sitting there. So he sends his little black heart.
Well, and in the chat room, it's actually red, but
Oh, okay. Oh,
So was he? Is his father in spirit?
yes.
Okay, because I know his father is around him and would like to have more conversations with him. And it's more conversations about just expressions of knowing that kind of his dad is there. If he's got a question about how do I fix this fishing rod or something, he's like, okay, ask my dad. That kind of feeling.
See that, Bob? All right, we got to pull out of
funny
it.
how she picked on fishing.
Yeah, right. I know, because he's been wanting to do. He's been working a lot of hours lately because of this virus. He's
Has to
a
go fishing.
worker, and that's what he does on his time that he
Oh, he does. Okay.
going fishing, and it's like he asked me to go fishing. I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't go fishing. But yeah, that would probably be the time. Take a digi with you, and go and talk to your dad
I
while
think
you.
that's what his dad is saying. Go fishing. Dad
Yeah.
wants to talk to him.
Ah,
Or,
Mhm.
not necessarily like talk, I have a message, but just be with him.
sad face for, but yeah,
Got a connection.
we're gonna pull
If
it
if you're interested, we have one other person in the chat room who would love to have a card. Jessica.
yeah, just Purvey.
Pull one for me, pretty. Oh, Jessica,
Sweet.
what did you say, pretty please? Okay, let's.
See, this is what happens when people start doing the readings like
Oh,
this.
we love it. I mean, come on. I would be doing the same thing. Like me. I like to get read. I like to
God bless you.
help.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait,
Bob wants to know. Oh, okay, Gina, put it up.
yeah. Does she say I need a boat?
Absolutely.
No.
Without doubt.
But wait a minute. But wait a minute. Gina's got to build it.
Gina will build it for you.
There you go. Just stay out of her way, Bob, and she'll build it.
Bass. He talks about bass. Are you in the area where there's bass? Bass?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, he's really a good fisherman though.
Oh, okay. Get a boat, Bob. Dad'll be happy.
Yeah, Gina will build it.
No, Gina won't.
You ladies are funny.
Thank you.
I don't think I've laughed. I've done quite a few interviews. I have never laughed as much.
Good.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, we started out so chaotic.
Yeah, and that's why exactly.
Who is Joyce? Is there a Joyce spirit with any of you?
No.
Joyce just came through right away. The word name Joyce. Who's Joyce? Okay.
Okay. Well, there's
All
a 7-second delay to the chat room, so maybe it'll be somebody in the chat room.
Okay.
as
So
well.
this is for Jessica, though, right? It's Jessica. So Jessica, some of this has to do with water, or water, as they would say, and okay, I got a feeling of she needs to refresh herself by being by a big lake or the ocean or like that. I don't know in your state if they've closed down beaches or whatever, but she has to. I mean, she's like drawn to it. She has to do it because I think that, yeah, this way. Can you see this? Oh,
that's
tilted, tilted. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, dragon.
Okay, you got that?
Hard.
So this is the 10 of swords. The 10 of swords isn't necessarily at all a really negative card, but it says you've been through enough and you have to bring it to an end. You have to say either accept it as it is, it is what it is. Peace sign, Pisces. There's my Pisces.
Yep.
Remember I asked for the Pisces? There she
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
Got to be by water. It's
Yep.
like accept it as it is. If you've said that you lost, you lost. If you said there's no winning or losing, it looks like it's been a time. And I don't know. Do you have a brother that's either in spirit or had a very difficult time in life, like had a very darkness, maybe had some mental emotional problems? Anyway, I think you need to put an end to whatever you're going through emotionally by visiting the water and letting it go. I'm going to pick another card for what you could focus on to get yourself motivated into the future. This is a hard time for everyone, but I think that for Jessica, this is a really hard time. So we're going to send you some light, some love and light.
Mm-hmm.
Always, Jess.
You see that?
Oh.
Oh, there's a little boy walking through the woods on a
She
path.
said it was somebody who called himself her brother.
Her brother what?
It was somebody who called himself her brother.
Okay. This is the lovers. It's in the child card. It's called Hansel and Gretel. In the different tarot, spiritual brother. He has passed. Yeah. You know what? He had to pass. Life was difficult. He had to go. It was better for his soul. Not maybe better for humans, but better for his soul. There was
Mhm.
a darkness in this life for him, and he had to go. And that what you want to look at, the lover's card is really not necessarily about a person. It's about you bringing together and inspiring. I think you would get a lot of satisfaction with people that are joyful, like in the way of singing in a choir or something around music, uh, or go to when we can't ever go to concerts again. Remember those the olden days?
Oh God,
And
yeah.
remember those days when you
Yeah,
went to concerts?
yeah.
And it's time to be uplifted. And you want to let your friends know to form a prayer group for you to uplift you at this time because you bounce back. You're one of those good little Pisces fishes. You actually bounce back and you can do this, but you need to come to quiet time, acceptance. Bless you, Jessica.
I
Okay.
love you, Jess. You know I do. You're a strong girl.
Yeah,
Um,
she is.
very, very, very.
Sometimes strong people have to let themselves be weak.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we
Trust
are,
me. Yep.
we are ticking down here, and
Yeah.
I'm going to show you books again right here. Timeless Counselor, City of Redemption, How to Talk with Spirits, The Sky in June. All these books are available where?
On Amazon, Barnes and Noble, the ebooks are on Barnes and Noble. They're kind of available everywhere. Amazon, through me if you want to autograph, but people aren't mailing things anymore, right?
Yes, they are.
I like book. I'm paper. I'm a paper person
Yes.
book, but they're available Kindle, paper, audio book. My audio book on spirits just came out, and I really like the narrator. I couldn't do it myself because why? How long will that take? But The Sky in June is about a little psychic girl that's trying to fit into a religious family, and there's a mystery in the family that's keeping the family really back, and she's trying to find out why is her mother always like that? What's going on in the family? It's a well loved book. If you have a chance, it's in Kindle too, so it's all over. You can find it, you can get it, order at your bookstore, however you want to do it.
JuneAhern.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
JuneAhern.com, AHERN.com. And you can find anything from there. You can go to anywhere else. I'm going to give a free talk coming up in May on my past life experience and the psychic awareness on a Zoom. I'll post everything on my page.
Cool.
Fabulous. So I want everybody to go look her up and connect that way. Now, in your book, though, you teach people how to talk to spirits. Now, a lot of people, I mean, yes, we have these shows and whatnot. We do our best trying to teach people how to talk and communicate with their loved ones. But you actually wrote a book on it.
Yes. Yeah. And there's different ways. When we were grieving, I think we've all lived long enough that we have grieved in life. We have lost someone we love very much.
Mhm.
So it's easier to go to somebody else like me, a medium, or to join a group spirit thing like, Edward Jones, or to go to a seance or whatever. But I really encourage people to do it on their own. And I write about that in the book. I say, you can do this. It's really hard when you're in heavy grieving to believe it's you are making communication because you think it's your imagination. And I'm going to tell you, probably at least 90%, it's not your
Yeah.
imagination. You
Right.
know, my sister passed on suddenly, and she and I were like this, best friends. And I went to other mediums because two other mediums because I just couldn't. My grief was
Yeah.
too overwhelming. But now I communicate with her. So my book deals with how do you find a real medium? I mean, how do you know that this is for sure? If you
Oh,
go to a seance, what should you expect, and what should you not do, and what should you not involve yourself in, and also do it yourself. How to do it yourself. If you want to go on a ghost hunt, how to go on one very safely. Because I don't fool around with that stuff. I don't think it can be
Oh,
fun, but you have to be careful.
yeah.
Or
totally.
you
Now, what is the title of
get
this book?
wrong. Hmm?
How
What
to
is
talk
the
to
title of
spirits.
this book?
How to talk with spirits, seance mediums, and ghost hunts.
Okay.
Yeah, how to talk with spirits.
There we go. That's the
That's
one I
another
kept looking at.
popular one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one, and it's great information for a lot of people that are, wanting to test the waters that did lose a
Yes,
loved one. Yes, you can talk to them. There are various ways. There are various ways to talk, and there are various ways not to talk. You know,
absolutely.
provoking is not
Absolutely.
the way
No, no
to
provoking.
communicate. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't go. I tell people in the book, don't go, Daddy. Billy's not letting me have half of the money, and I should have half the money, Daddy. Don't you think so? And he's going, oh, there goes the kids again. And the
Very
yeah,
true.
don't take your problems to him. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Mhm.
That's right. All right. Well, we did just get our little 90-second warning here. So again, JuneAhern.com. Go there, see her, check her out. This week, thanks for joining us for the 2 shows we had this week. Please remember, go to our YouTube. 60 seconds. Go to our YouTube channel at The Fox Den, hosted by Gina Bankston, and subscribe. Go to Angel Meadows, subscribe. Go to June's, subscribe. All those links are in the comments in the chat room. And thank you all for joining us. Thank you, June, for being patient with us. And
Thank you, ladies.
all right, you all have a wonderful night. Please share the show, everybody, and buona notte. Ciao for now.
Right, bye.
Good evening and welcome to the Fox Den. I am Gina B in the place to be, P. Fox, the paranormal princess herself, Gina Bankston. And with me is my beautiful butterfly babe, the magical, the mystical Mama D. And we are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to bring you a variety of guests to entertain you and to help you in any way we possibly can. Thank you for joining us, and please share our feeds.